think that by using a quality synthetic oil it gets you out of cleaning your exhaust valves, you're wrong. Luckily though, these things are simple, they're designed to be clean, so doing this job, once you get good at it, is only going to take you a few minutes. Now before you get in here and start twisting wrenches, the first part of this job is to head to your dealership and pick up a new set of gaskets. Because let's face it, the old ones are probably going to tear when you take them apart anyways. Arctic Cat, Yamaha, and Polaris all have exhaust valves of their own design, but each does essentially the same job and is cleaned basically the same way. On some sleds, you'll probably have to remove the cap to get access to the retaining bolts or bellows underneath. But like any time you're working on your sled, but especially with these exhaust valves, be careful not to lose any bolts, retaining clips, or the little spring down into the abyss below the engine. Because if you do, you're probably not getting it back. Next, remove the retaining bolts holding the housing to the cylinder. With this step accomplished, the valve itself can be slid right out of the cylinder as an assembly. But poor maintenance could make this job a bit difficult and you might have to give it a good pull. Now you might be thinking the next step in this job is to go right to the parts washer or bucket of mineral spirits and start scrubbing away with a wire brush. Well, you could, but really to do this job correctly you need to take the valve apart to clean all the component pieces. Now just remember, if you choose to go this far, you got to keep all the parts in order so you get them back together right during reassembly. Very nice. The cylinder will also have to be cleaned, but it's a really tight spot to get into. Use a little bit of mineral spirits or some carb cleaner to loosen the buildup, then gently clean with a wiper or a screwdriver wrapped in a cloth as best you can. But if you use a screwdriver, be careful not to mark up any of the machine surfaces. Now that works. Now, I've got this thing back together because it's easier to do with the bench. You'll find you're going to have a lot of struggles trying to get the bellows over top of the cup and then get the spring over top of everything to keep it in place. Now you can use a screwdriver to help pry it into position, but if you do, make sure you do it very gently and carefully because if you puncture that bellows or rip it, you're going to have to go back to the dealership and buy another one. And I bet that's not going to be in stock. Some valves make it easy for you and the guillotines are marked top, but not all of them are. If yours isn't, you have to make sure you reinstall it in the correct way because there is an upside and a downside to each guillotine. Now that's about it for the job of cleaning your exhaust valves. Now, if you're still not comfortable doing this job yourself after watching this video, I recommend bringing your machine into the dealer and have them do the service, because exhaust valves really do need to be cleaned about every 1,000 miles or so. And if left undone, it can really hurt the performance of your sled.